Hello, everyone. My name is David Santos. I'm an NSX engineer, and today we're going to talk about some troubleshooting tips and tricks to NSXT. To start, what we have in the box for in the NSXT box that help us to troubleshooting when we have some problem or we're facing some issues with the solution. We have syslog that we can send logs to either login site or other log solution. We can have multiple syslog servers configured to NSX, so it works really well. Also have TraceFlow, that's a powerful tool where you can select like the source and the destination workloads, and check the path between those two workloads. Also topology map, that's something new in 3.0, where you can see like all the segments and T1s and T0s that we have configured in our network. Container inventory, so in 3.0 we can also check the clusters that are connected, the Kubernetes cluster that are connected to NSX. Also, what are the namespaces, configure them, and the containers, the labels, and everything. Also, the ingress rules. Mirror, either logical span or ER span. They are really useful for troubleshooting. IPFix and VRNI, that's got better in the last version, and latents. So the latest part is really nice. It's really useful when you need to check if the communication between any transport nodes are working fine or not. So for each one of those topics, I have a video here. The first one is the integration with login site. So this integration is native. So when you integrated login site with NSX, it has a content pack that brings all those nice charts to login site, and also it has all the rejects done. So here, this these blue words here are called extracted fields, and they are the log parsing. So it helps login site to index all the unstructured data that we received in a syslog format, and index that to easily search for an information, an event, an error, or everything that happened in NSX or any other platform. The next one is TraceFlow. Here we have TraceFlow. So we're going to select a source workload that can be either a VM or a pod, and the destination workload that can be either a VM, a pod, or an IP address. In the case of an external IP address, you check the NSX communication up to the edge node. So you check if everything from the workload up to the edge node is working fine. In our case, we're gonna select a container as our source workload. Here it's a Deltaforce app, and we're gonna test the communication to web A. After the test is done, we can check here all the components that participate in that communication. Here I have the pod, the segment, T0, T1s, and also we have the hypervisor that are hosting that pod or that workload. Something that's nice is that we can see here the IP address of that workload of the hypervisor, the management IP address, and also the hypervisor version where is NSX installed. The other feature that was added to NSX 3.0 was the topology map. So the topology map is something that's really helpful to understand the NSX topology and what's connected to what. So here you can see that we have our T0. We can download the routing table, the forwarding table, check what's the BGP neighbors, also the T1 configuration. When you have multiple segments connect to the same T1, we're gonna group them, and also can ungroup them to see what's connected there. Here we have a segment delta force that's being used for 4 pods. We can also check the labels that those pods are using, and we can export that to PDF, and also have a mini map here that is really useful to look to search something really quick. Topology map, it was something that people was asking a long time ago, and now it's happening in NSX. So I'm a really fan of that. Containers inventory, it helps a lot to figure out what we have in the Kubernetes cluster that are being used. That it helps a lot to cross-reference what you have in Kubernetes and also with what you have in NSX, and it helps to create firewall rules and check what are the rules, the ingress rules created in NSX. So here you can check the containers and the clusters. In this case, we have 1 cluster working and 2 clusters that are not connected. And we can check that there's 3 nodes in each one in that cluster. We can look for a specific namespace like delta force, and we can check like the ingress rule. We can check what has been configured for load balance. In this case, we have a URI rule that's balancing /app and /web to our pods. And also we have here the SSL offload that has been configured. We can also check here the pods that are connected to that namespace, and also the service. In this case, we have 2 services, web and app, and also all the segments T1, T0 that communicate that are being used for that Kubernetes cluster. Other thing that's available in NSX also is the port mirroring. We have two types of port mirroring in the simplified UI. We have the L3 span and also the logical span. The cool thing about L3 span is that we can mirror the whole segment. In this case, we're gonna mirror a segment that's being used for a container, and we're gonna send that traffic to an external IP address using GRE. In this case, I'm sending that traffic to my desktop computer that has external IP. Here I'm gonna start Wireshark and do a little filtering here to get only the pod network. I'm gonna generate here some traffic, 172.26, and after generate some traffic here, I can check all the communication in that network that that's really useful for troubleshooting and to check if everything is fine or not, if why some application is not communication with it's not communicating with another. So it's something really useful and really helps when you face a problem with connectivity. VRNI, in the last version of VRNI 5.2, we have a new dashboard, an NSXT dashboard. It's providing a lot of useful info for NSXT. So here in the right side, we have the topology, the NSXT topology with all the controllers, managers, and also the nodes, the transport nodes. And when you click in a transport node, we can check the traffic that's going, that's ingress traffic, egress traffic, the latency between that transport node and other transport nodes. Also the traffic that's being received, the traffic that's being dropped, and also the usage, the disk usage, CPU usage, and memory usage. And so it improved a lot. Something that is really cool about this dashboard also is we can check here how many VMs are hosted in that host. What's the transport zone that is being used, the IP address, the management IP address, and also if everything's fine, like what's the connectivity status to the management plane, to the control plane, and there is a lot of other nice metrics here that help us to check if everything's fine with NSX or not. Also, NSX, the new version, I think it started in 5.1, and also in 5.2 we have the dark mode. Dark mode sometimes is helpful for people that likes dark screen, that don't like clear screen. So it helps too much, especially when you are in the front of the computer the whole day. So in the Kubernetes integration, these dark modes got really cool because there's a diagram here of service that looks really nice. So here you can check like the namespace, the service of like that of the container integrated, the Kubernetes integrated VRNI solution, and here's the diagram of the service. So here you can check like all the pods that are configured to that service, and also we can check here the NSX that's integrated to that Kubernetes cluster. Also, if you have here like a connection to a physical device, and also like the firewall rules, and here the master nodes. So this diagram here really help us to check in a graphical way what's happening in the Kubernetes cluster. That's all I have. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.